Welcome back everyone. This is the second part to the painting tutorial. In the first part I showed you how to add texture, and in this one I'll be showing you how to use some cheap products to get that cast iron look. You'll need craft paint, a sponge brush, a plate, and a popsicle stick to mix your paint. Using a sponge brush will help you get even coats across the surface without having to worry about any brush stroke lines. And you're going to want to coat your prop evenly. Make sure to get into all those little crevices. Here you can see that the cast iron appearance already is starting to take effect. And if you're being timed or are simply impatient, you can also use a blow dryer to speed up the process between coats. If your prop comes together in separate sections, it's important to note where they'll be connecting, to leave those parts without paint to make it easier for when you glue it back together. If you're painting a helmet like this, you can skip painting the interior if you're going to add any kind of padding. Next you'll need some brushes, some paper towel to blot, and your black paint that you already used. Here I'm using various gray tones and mixing them loosely with my black to add an extra layer of depth to the helmet. Here on this helmet that I already painted, you can see the darker tones are blending in with the lighter gray tones, and this will just help sell the cast iron look you're going for. Now using your chip brush, you're going to add these gray tones by dabbing them on sporadically. Make sure when you do this, you leave an even amount of black to gray ratio so that you're not drowning the black with this new layer. Something to look out for when using the chip brush are these little flyaway hairs. You don't want them getting stuck in your paint. If you're following along, your helmet should look something like this with the added layer of gray. The real trick to getting this effect is by using a gloss clear coat finish. In this next part we'll cover detailing and weathering work. Here I'm just using a standard white and almond color craft paint, some standard small brushes, and an optional sponge. For the weathering, you want to use a very soft bristled brush to add those light mud, dirt, or rust tones. And you can see how by adding that gloss coat, you can really get a sense of how much texture your prop really has. Now this part is optional as well, but I'm just using a plastic glove to act as my paintbrush, since I really don't want brush strokes showing up when I add the white hand of Sauron onto this helmet. Something to keep in mind if you are doing the same project and adding a white hand is to make sure it looks messy and uneven. Most hands on these helmets are smeared on and have areas where you can see drag. To add a layer of weathering, I'm using some brown paints here and that soft brush I mentioned earlier to add a layer of dirt and rust. What I like to do to add these layers of dirt to these kinds of helmets is get as little paint as possible onto your soft brush and build up the values layer by layer. You also want to keep in mind where the dirt tends to settle in real life, so grab as many real life references as you can to help make your prop more realistic. If you do end up going a little heavy on the weathering or adding too much paint, you can always pull it back with some water and a paper towel. In this next part, I'm just doing some last minute touch-ups. I added some more black over the white hand mark, just so that it looks a little messier and more like real fingerprints. And now you should be finished with your cast iron paint application. This is what my helmet looks like on the 1:1 scale Berserker Urukai bust I made. You can find the file for this bust and the helmet at Paintbrush Armory, on Cults 3D, and on Etsy. Thanks for watching.